Okay. That's it. Hey, Path. Yep, I guess the notifications are really struggling tonight. So that's just how it is. We'll just make do. Don't worry about it. You know the routine. We still have all of these guys. So we still have 8 more. What? Seriously? Yeah, I guess so. Gonna do another one tonight. And then probably 3 tomorrow. 3 on Friday and 1 or 2 on Saturday. Phew. Okay, so we'll get there. It just takes time, people. It just takes a lot of work and a lot of time. So we're going to shake it all up, okay? And we're going to figure out who we're going to read here. Hello, hello, hello. If there's any strangers out there and you've never seen this before, you've never done it before, don't worry about it. It's perfectly normal. Everything that we do here is absolutely perfectly normal. There is no hint of fudging here. There's no strings, no gadgets, no mirrors, no magnets, no glue, nothing. Okay? So we're going to figure out who we're going to read for tonight. This is for the November 2019 General Report for whoever it might be. Let's have a look. It'll be fun if some of the regulars show up. Yeah. I'll just make that happen, okay, Love Triber? I'll just make the Aquarius thing happen. Okay, so here we are. Okay, there's a post-it note that's squished out of place here. I'm just going to re-squish it. Okay, so that it's more round like the others. Okay, so this is what it looks like, people. This is what we do. I wonder who else is going to show up, if anybody. This is the 3rd event I've had today because we started off with the Wellness Wednesday and then we just did a reading for Aries and now we're going to read for somebody else, okay? So here we go. It would be funny if we actually pulled an Aquarius, but I'm not going to get caught into that. I'm not a gambler, as you know. It's well proven. Let's have a look. Let me just put this away first of all. I just want the stage cleared up, so... They're back, don't worry, we didn't lose them. And here it is. Sorry, that was in my hand the whole time, no fudging, okay? Here it is. Let's have a look. Who do we have here? Oh. I'll flip it over in just a second. I'm just as eager to know as you are. We have a... Oh, that is funny. Dear Aquarius. Okay. There's something in the vortex, people. Something in the water. Whatever it is. Thank you, dear little post-it notes. It's because Love Triber's here. Love Triber's a gambler. She knows how to play the numbers, play the odds. She knows which buttons to press, when to press them, and how and why. I don't get it, but somebody does. Thank you, Aquarius post-it note. You have lived your life. And you're going into post-it note heaven. Bye-bye. Oh, gosh. So it's all about you now, Aquarius. It's all about you. So let's put you front and center over here. We'll tuck everyone else away until the next report, whenever that might be. We might even get to do another one tonight. If everybody's still up for it, I still have a couple of things to take care of, but you never know. Let's see. Yep, okay. So it's all about Aquarius right now. And we're going to start off with the Astrodoodles, like we've been doing with the other folks. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's not anticipate anything here. We're not going to predict anything. I just need a little sip. Greetings. I think clearly that very few people are getting their notifications. Very, very few. All right, okay. This is just general blurb for the whole month, okay? I use this in personal readings. It's just a bunch of data and information, and it has meaning and purpose. I'm only going to focus here on this little report on the yellow highlights because everything else is kind of like you have to go much deeper and it gets very time consuming. Okay, so Aquarius. You know, the Scorpio season can sometimes be a little bit choppy for you. So the Scorpio-Aquarius combo is actually very quirky in astrology. because there are some very happy, successful Scorpio Aquarius relationships, even though technically they are squared, you know. But anyway, that's just kind of an anomaly. So we start off November with a bang, because at the very tippy end of October we had a huge Scorpio stellium for the new moon in Scorpio. So it's picking up right from the very beginning, the 1st of November, like a wave cresting and building up. Well, it's not cresting, it's building up, and it's going to crest into a wave the full moon on the 12th when it reaches the moon in Taurus. And that's when the wave, the lunar crest, is going to reach its plateau. And then it wanes, okay, for the next 2 weeks. And then we have to integrate everything. So the first 2 weeks of the month are all about going with the flow, riding that wave kind of like a surfer. And then the next 2 weeks are coming down off the wave and getting back to shore, and then figuring out what just happened. So towards the end of the month, we have a couple of shifts. Actually, at the beginning, we also have Mercury retrograde in Scorpio for the first 3 weeks of the month. So, you know, I'll show you that in a little moment. Over here, there's some bumpy bits with Mars and Uranus, okay. Also, things will shift into probably more comfortable energy for you. And when the Sun moves into Sagittarius around the 22nd, and then the energy amplifies even more when we have the new moon in Sagittarius around the 26th, okay, right over here. And then, blanketing the whole month from the very first day, November 1st, up until November 30th, we have a Capricorn stellium, because more and more energy is starting to move into the big Capricorn conjunctions for January. And so on the 30th itself, we've got the Moon, Pluto, Saturn, and Venus. And frankly, we might as well include Jupiter as well, because it's starting to squeeze that pressure, Jupiter pressure, into Capricorn. I'll show you in a moment. Okay, let's dig out your astrodoodle. It is right here. Thank you very much. Hello, T. Garnet, Capricorn there. Well done. I don't think we've done the Capricorn reading yet. No, we have not. Glad to have you back, T. Garnet. Garnet, isn't that kind of some kind of precious stone or something? All right, dear Aquarius, here is your November astrodoodle. I know, it's quite something. So, there's you, Aquarius. We put you on the horizon, okay? And the dates that we highlighted here are at the very, very beginning of the month, the Scorpio new moon vibe, at the very tippy end. It's actually the end of October, but who cares? Okay, and it's really highlighting and lighting up your 10th house of career, destiny, purpose. I think that's one of the reasons why the Scorpio Aquarius thing can sometimes work, because Aquarians tend to be very quirky and unique, and in a way Scorpios don't actually care. It's just like, because they are so like focused and centered into their own power, where it doesn't matter if there's a technical square. They can be like mutually supportive, okay? So the Scorpio energy rules your 10th house of like destiny, career, mission, and purpose, sense of, being front and center on this planet. And then we're going to cruise through the first 2 weeks up until we get to the full moon here. So, as you can see, there's a strong emphasis on the 4th house and the 10th house over here by the middle of the month. The full moon is actually in Taurus on the 12th. Excuse me, my throat is very fragile at the moment. My little beverages are probably not helping. But anyway, this is kind of, because these are on the angles, these are the cardinal houses, okay? 1, 4, 7, and 10, okay, are the cardinal houses. So we're talking about your place on this world, like mission and purpose. And there, Scorpio energy is transformational. So it's almost like your job is to initiate and stir things up and transform things. and actually be a catalyst for change. And then, when you come to the full moon over here, and the moon, the Taurus energy rules your fourth house of home and family, where it will be very natural for you to want abundance and stability and security. In some ways, that's all being shaken up, okay? But, you know, it only happens once a year, so let's just allow for that. Think of it as very, very deep, low-level earthquakes happening in your life, in your world, in the early part of the month. And it's good. It's good to shake things up now and again. You know, get the so you don't get too comfortable in a state of status quo. You understand that life is continually changing and evolving. It never, ever, ever stops. It's very easy to get stuck in a comfort zone where you think, okay, this feels good. Now we're just going to lock it in. It's almost like, it's great up to a point, but it's almost like you're building a time bomb, because eventually the pressures will force everybody to change. And so my feeling is that towards the middle of the month, you would feel some kind of profound changes in your home life, the place where you live, sleep, protect yourself, defend yourself, soothe yourself, heal yourself, entertain friends and family and all that kind of stuff. Have a family, all of that. You'll understand more about what it really, really means for you, having been like squeezed and pressured at the very beginning of the month, okay? To me, it looks like it's going to be relatively uncomfortable, but we need to go through. This is like a growth curve. This is a growth period for you. And the other thing here is the Sagittarius energy, okay, which is actually really fun for you. It rules your 11th house of community, your sense of what you bring to this earth, your sense of like feeling rewarded for having lived a good life, or not being rewarded for having lived a poor life. Like poor decisions in life, okay? So the 22nd, Sun enters Sag. The new moon in Sag is on the 26th. So that's very uplifting and very positive for you. And that gets you back into the feeling of, now I'm back in the zone. The 11th house in astrology is all about the Aquarian energy. It's ruled by Uranus, and in the area, in the global chart, the universal collective chart, it is the house of humanity, okay, which is you, Aquarius, okay? So this is a really positive time period for you. So when things get towards the end of the month, no matter how much upheaval or discomfort or disorientation or transformation might have happened in your sense of home and career, in other words, what happens in your career affects your home life. And you're going to realize what happens in your home life affects your destiny in this world. They're linked, okay? Like for some people, that might be a home business, for example. Because this is like one of the houses of business, okay? Now, let's keep going. This whole month, okay, starting at the very first, the 1st of November, all the way to the 30th of November, there's different variations of a Capricorn stellium over here. And Venus is already now going to be in Capricorn. We got Saturn and Pluto, and eventually the moon's going to be there, okay, at the beginning and there at the end. And Jupiter is going to start nudging into Capricorn very, very soon. So big changes, big shifts. This is kind of like a precursor towards January 2020 when the big thing happens. So this house for you, dear Aquarius, rules it's your 12th house of like healing, rest, respite, knowing that you might need to check out, and like what some people would do, they would disconnect from society and go into a spa or retreat or some kind of place of healing where you just turn into a blob. And sometimes it's in those situations where all the things that need healing come to the surface. So this part of your life is starting to build up already, and it's building up, and it's going to increase in building up through 2020, okay? So this is a hugely important part of your life right now. I think a lot of it is to do with healing and in a very slow, responsible, incremental way, because of the Capricorn energy. To me, it feels like you're going to be starting now, this month, to really look at healing as a really big priority in your life right now for all Aquarians. But you don't have to, like, you know, put it on the front burner all day, every day. It just has to be part of your everyday agenda, where you systematically go through multiple layers of self-determined healing. In other words, you're deliberately choosing. Like, if you resist this, it's almost like you're asking for trouble, because you're asking to not heal. So when you take on this energy here, and realize that this is a really good opportunity for, you know, serious reality checks in your life. Well, what am I going to do about my health, my physiology, my spiritual health, my psychological, emotional health? A lot of our health is to do with removing obstacles to the health. In other words, oh gosh, I should almost show you. I feel like I'm really tempted to show you. Just stay there, Aquarius. I can't resist this. Hold on. Stay there. Don't go away. This is a not normal part of a reading, but you see this magazine here? It comes out in my neighborhood. It's called Whole Life, and it's all about these, like, you know, yoga places, and every page is full of some kind of retreat thing, and yeah, everyone's trying to heal you in different ways, but it's all about, like, deep soul healing. And at the other end of it, let me just go to the end here. I want to show you at the threshold, okay? Just give me a second. You see all these, like, energy healers? Hold on. You see all these? Look at this, Aquarius. For only $5,000, you can empower your life. So the question is, do you really want to blow $5,000 when you can do some of these things on your own? Here's a portal to ascension for $200. Here is a hypnosis workshop where you can be certified in 2 days how to make millions of dollars by becoming a hypnotist and creating your own, let's say, speaking events, okay? And over here is another retreat. This is only $200, normally valued at $3,000, but she's giving it away at $200. Over here is a $4,000 self-healing ongoing program. Here's a $300 program. And here's a $700 program. Well, guess what? A lot of this stuff we just do right here for a very much more affordable rate. But the whole point is that this is like, it's time to make deliberate decisions to actively go into the vortex of self-healing, okay? All right? I'm going to leave it at that. I've overdone it with that already. So let's just leave it and move on. We're going to start with a Crucible spread, okay? It's about relationship, okay? I'm going to use a miniature Crucible spread. It's on the understanding there's you, Aquarius, a significant other, and then a third entity called a relationship itself. That's why I call it a crucible. You'll see in a moment from the spread as it comes out. A crucible is a structure that is designed to withstand intense pressures like a laboratory, but it's kind of how human relationships work. You'll see in a moment. Remember, this third entity, the relationship itself, and when I do astrology things for people, I can identify the relationship in its profile, like it has a character, okay? It's not you, it's not the other. It is its own thing, and you guys own this. So we're talking about certain significant others in your life, Aquarius, whoever they might be, like family, friends, partner, exes, partners to be, certain very, very specific one-on-one relationships. Some of these relationships happen that are kind of default relationships, you know, like mom and dad, the people who raised you, who gave birth to you, and others are chosen relationships, you know, typically like when we're choosing friends or not, or having spouses or not, okay? cards are well shuffled. I'm just going to go to the last second so that you're a witness. No jumpers, no flyers, no reversals. Okay, here we go. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about in a minute. Now, Aquarius, hold on. I need to check in with you guys. Stay there. I can't remember. Did I check in already? Anyway, I'm doing it now. Greetings, dear Aquarius. I hope you enjoyed that little thing from the magazine. I was really kind of blown away. I just did it early today in between one of the events. And I thought, I'm just going to search all these links. And I realized that there are people running these in a way I'm kind of jealous, because they have these successful operations where, they're charging huge amounts of money. I mean, I totally get it. I mean, as you know, I've kind of had my own ambitions to have a so-called retreat. But there's different ways of doing it. You have to be very, very careful in that world. I'm very, very aware of what is not healthy, okay? Anyway, hello, Aquarius. Let's get back to you. That was our little introduction, okay? Yes, I will do that. Bless this deck. Bless the whole channel. Bless you, Aquarius. Bless the electricity, the cameras, the lights. Actually, I'm going to shuffle that even more. The platform, all of it, that we can do this at all. What we do here is actually, in some ways, very advanced. Okay? That's possibly why we have, it's just a few of us here. Some of those things that I noticed on those things that I showed you in the magazine, Aquarius, it's stuff that we just take for granted here at Tarot Lumination, but they do it in a very formalized academic way, and it looks fantastic and very, very glossy, like go to college, get your certificate. Tarot Lumination offers a certificate, but it's for fun, okay? And then you become certified, and you pay thousands and thousands of dollars, and then you realize, oh, now I have to go out and repeat what someone else just told me to do, and if I don't, then I might as well have just read a few books and learned all this stuff myself. All right, there we are. Actually, I need to decontaminate. I feel like I'm contaminating the reading by talking about these things that are really just my own issues. Let's get back to you, Aquarius, okay? Gosh, I went on a rant there. Okay, we're back to center now. Let's bless the whole reading. Back to center. Thank you very, very much, Aquarius. I'm going to break this up. Wow, can you see that? I did a super micro cut. There we are. But that keeps the readings really clear. Here, just imagine you, okay? That's you, Aquarius. Think of yourself like a smartphone, constantly radiating, transmitting, and receiving energy, a significant other, and the relationship itself, okay? And then what is germinating and let's say blossoming out of this relationship? Is it full of weeds? Is the relationship steady, solid, flexible, broken, damaged, leaky, beautiful, well-maintained? What is it? And it's surrounded. Think of this as a potted plant, okay? This is the crucible. A crucible is a bowl type structure, okay? So in case you've never been here before, it's like we look at this as a whole, like a living, almost like a living organism, and like as a potted plant, you're affected by the surrounding energies. I like to think of the planets, but it could be like stresses from the environment, your job, your home, your family, your school, your friends, the workplace, whatever it is. I like to refer to the planets. So we have the hermit energy over here. So my feeling is that please don't take this as feeling lonely. My feeling is that you're actually being encouraged to go deep within, deep diving, deeper than within than ever before, but not to be frightened of it, because ultimately that's kind of where the whole planet is heading. So much in terms of our happiness is going to have to be more and more derived and sourced from the soul, the internal self. There's only so much you can do with retail therapy. There's only so much consumption that we can do as humans. How much human beings as creatures, we seek pleasure. Okay? That's how we evolve and grow. We follow the things that trigger pleasure, like sex, food, money, parties, excitement, love and romance, passion, intoxications, anything that translates into pleasure, career, being appreciated, being rich and famous. Okay? That's all external. What I think's happening here is that there's a strong message that is like, you, dear Aquarius, you're being urged to live the life, walk the talk, live by example as someone who is willing to go deep within in this very, almost very singular, solitary way that nobody really wants to do, but somebody has to live by example to do that. So we discover the true sources of happiness are that which lies within. So it feels to me that this relates very closely to this axis here, where you're realizing you have to go deep within to the foundations of your life, your sense of home, what constitutes home, security, safety for you, and then happiness for you, coziness, warmth, friends, family for you, nurture. How do you nurture yourself? How do you nurture others? How do you allow yourself to be nurtured? And how does it affect you and your destiny? And how are you behaving in your outer world that is impacting your internal world for better or worse? So I think those issues are really going to come up for the first few weeks, okay? And it means having to go within. So do not be frightened of this hermit here. Please see it as like, oh, it's almost like that's where I need to go. That's where I actually need to head in the context of relationship. It doesn't mean you're going to be apart or separated from someone. It just means this is a really good opportunity to go deep within, go deep diving. What about you here? So with the Six of Wands, you obviously want things to work. My feeling is that you're determined for things to work, and you're going to figure it out somehow. It's almost like you are rising to the challenge here, and a lot of people would not, it's almost like a lot of people would not want to be you right now, because, you know, Aquarius, you're kind of about, you're sort of the sign of the future. And we're heading there. You know, in a few years, we're going to be in the energy of Pluto and Aquarius, and that's going to be a very different energy, okay? And so you're kind of having to be a standard bearer, someone who's having to, like, live by example, do what has to be done in order to achieve and win and succeed in the context of love and relationship, okay? And so how does that actually work, okay? So it ultimately comes down to you, the individual self. In other words, if you're constantly looking for external validation about love, being loved, like, you know, romance, or all the classic interpretations of love, fine. It looks like you're going to head in that direction, but the definition of love and relationship is going to change, and it's going to transform, and you're going to have to live through it and almost be kind of like almost like a science experiment of what this is like in order to succeed, in order to prevail. So, you know, as glorious as this is with the Six of Wands, it does require victory. It does require literally having to almost like face the self at the deepest levels of your soul in ways that a lot of people don't want to do this. It's so much easier and more fun to try and solve all your problems through things like retail therapy, or having an extra helping of ice cream, or having a double duty pizza, or binging, or having an extra party, or having multiple mates and whatever it is, having a more rewarding career or something. Anything to avoid having to go deep within in such a way that it's almost nothing to do with the external world. Now, about the other, I think what's happening here is that you are relating with certain very specific individuals who have already in some way established their own sense of abundance and wealth and beauty and significance and purpose and meaning here on earth. And they are offering themselves as reflections back to you so that you have a better chance of prevailing. Okay? The Empress energy to me feels very lush, rich, and fertile here. And to me it feels like they want to share this with you because they know that you're kind of having to be in some ways very tough on yourself and then having to prevail. And it's not an easy journey, and that you're probably going to go through a lot of, let's say, uncomfortable experiences with all that 12th house energy, that huge amount of pressure in Capricorn through your 12th house. And so to me it feels like the Empress energy here represents people who are reflecting back to you your own lusciousness, your own awesomeness, your own wealth, your own beauty, your own gifts and talents and resources, okay, that are meaningful to them. And they want to let you know that they appreciate this and they're going to share that back with you because they wouldn't have this without you in the first place. That's what I'm sensing here. So it looks to me like there's a lot of mutual support here, Aquarius, on the understanding that you're basically deep diving into a new chapter of your life. Okay? And we're at the early stages here because I think the really heavy, serious stuff is going to be coming in January. So we're getting prepped up right now. What about at the core? Okay, with the Seven of Cups here, my feeling is you're probably not used to thinking of yourself or feeling yourself, observing yourself, or living yourself in a relationship dynamic in these kinds of ways. Like Aquarius, you can be very fixed at times, and you might have a whole lifetime of patterns and, let's say, status quo and different types of structures in a relationship, okay? Going back to this a moment, where I think this Seven of Cups refers to the real foundations of your relationships over here, where you're going to really see your home, the whole foundation of your life and world from a very different perspective. And it might be very confusing at first, okay, as we go through it. But I think that's all part of the healing. Okay, this is so much to do with healing. It's so much to do with having to be very, very responsible. And think of your growth and evolution as a long-term project where you don't spontaneously do things. In other words, you're not allowed to heavily self-medicate or do a lot of things that you would used to have done to alleviate whatever is your pain and suffering. Instead, you're going to have to go through it incrementally and figure it out. And it's your own personal private journey. Nobody can do this for you. But living this way and operating this way, where you're prioritizing health, okay, and your spiritual growth and evolution above and beyond every other aspect in your life, is weird. It's just weird and it's disorienting. And so it's almost like you're going to need the help and support of very valuable loved ones who are there for you on your side, okay? Because my feeling is that, as often happens in healing experiences, as you peel away the layers and all the obstacles that have blocked your health and abundance, you can feel kind of sick and disoriented because you're not used to, in other words, if you're used to being sick in a certain way, and then layers and layers of sickness are incrementally, slowly, gently removed, it can be distorting because you're not used to feeling healthier on an incremental basis. And then you have to figure out, well, what does it actually mean? It's almost like, oh my gosh, like, okay, great, I've done all this work, and I'm going deep down. No one else can do this but me for me. I've got the support of really valuable, significant loved ones, but it's actually very disorienting. A lot of the most important healing things that happen in life some of the most significant happen in the context of relationship. But it could be very disorienting for you. That's all I'm suggesting. Because you might have been, if you've been living a lifetime with certain impediments that were there almost since birth, and then removing them or healing them, it opens you up into a new way of being that might feel very strange and weird and new for you. So what flows from here? Okay, my feeling is that you're going to need the support of your loved ones more than ever before. In terms of soulmates, to me it feels like the only people that really, really count right now in terms of love and relationship are people who resonate with you at the most profound, deep soulmate level. Anything that does not resonate with you as having some kind of soulmate component, it's just like put it off to the side. What really, really counts now is the healing power of love and the healing of the self in the context of relationships. Now, I'm not saying every relationship is just going to be gooey and lovely and they're always going to be there for you. Certain types of things are, let's say, contentious, and it's designed to bring you into there. In other words, look at this. This is so much pressure. Just imagine you're in some kind of rest home or something for a long term. It's like being in rehab, and you've got a free ride. You've got a complete year of rehab bought and paid for by some like super rich relative, and they just want you to be really well and happy. And so you sign up for it and you think, okay, I'm fixed, a week later. But no, it takes like a year to get through all of this stuff. And each time you go through it, you're peeling off another layer. Sometimes you might feel like you want to barf and like convulse and everything, because you might have been surrounded by so many like protective layers. Have you ever seen that picture of like the warrior who's covered in bandages, and all you can see are bandages anymore? That you can see the warrior's sword, and you can see a couple slivers in the bandages where they can see through with their eyes, but everything else is bandages, and the bandages are leaking, and blood is leaking out of the bandages because you can't take it anymore. So I think that's what's happening here. As we peel off the layers and layers, we expose everything that needs revealing for the healing. So you have to think, you can't just rip off the band-aids and say, yeah, I'm cured. No, this is long term, and it can be disorienting for you, and it's like in love and relationship in general, there's no point in wasting time and energy with anyone who does not comport with you at the level of soulmate. Okay, I think it's really, really important. So it might be feeling like a little bit isolated in all this, but I think it's ultimately really good for you. And you have to go through this. It looks like you've kind of like appointed yourself as someone who's going to have to live through this by example anyway, so that you can be a shining example for others. Okay? Proving that it can be done. Wow. That was a very unusual reading for love and relationship. I hope you don't mind, Aquarius, and I hope it makes sense to some of you, okay? All right, now I'm going to move on to the next part. We're going to do a situational spread. This is kind of like a diagnostics thing. I just want to plug it in. It's like a sniper bullet. We just go straight to the heart of the matter. We need to focus on certain critical issues for this month. What is the situation? What are the challenges with it all? And how are we going to deal with it? Okay? And what are the influences? What is the weather like? It's literally like what they do in the presidential situation room. Okay? Up in Washington, D.C. Over there in the White House. I'm not kidding. That's what they do. No jumpers, no flyers, no oracles. Excuse me, I have to put this back. Now I have to shuffle again, completely from scratch. Thank you everybody for being here, by the way, even if you're not an Aquarius, okay? Here we go. All right, let's break this up. I'm going to keep this one fairly even. I feel pretty stable about everything here. Let's have a look. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges, and here's how we're going to handle it. And this is for November 2019, dear Aquarius. And the weather surrounding all of this, think of it as the planets. I've already illustrated that with the Astrodoodle. We've got the Five of Pentacles here. So my feeling is that this is kind of like a heads up, dear Aquarius. Because of what's happening in November, you might feel a bit impoverished, okay? You might feel as though, when you look at this relative to the Hermit here, you might feel as though you're going through an episode like, does anybody love me? Does anybody actually love me in a way where there's evidence, given everything that I've offered to the world, everything that I've done? Where did I go wrong? There's a message here. It's just be aware of this. It's just like, this is not an indication that you're going to be poor and miserable and destitute and rejected and left out. This is an indication that, let's say, it's almost like a squeeze on resources. It's almost like when doctors come at you and say, dear Aquarius, I'm sorry this is going to hurt, but in order to do some of our tests, we're going to have to deprive you of this, 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 and this, and this. Like they do with allergy testing or with dietary testing or anything to try and diagnose what's not working. They basically put you in these diagnostic situations like, okay, you can't eat any more blah blah blah, you have to stop drinking, you can't eat any more meat, you can't eat any more cheese, you can't eat any more blah blah blah, you can't go crazy and work 36 hours and then not get any sleep, you can't lift and carry 80 pounds a day 10 times a day. That stuff has to stop, and the doctors are actually trying to help you. But some people get very hooked on their activities because that's their way of feeling okay. A lot of people what's that expression where, hold on, it's like people who are like workaholics, for example, any kind of aholic type of thing. Hold on, dear Aquarius, stay there. So can you see this from pretend it's coming from a doctor's perspective? They're very concerned for you. Like if you have constructed a lifestyle where you do all sorts of things and this and that, where everything kind of works okay, and it is your way of getting through life. In other words, I have my double shot espresso in the morning, and I have my laptop here, and I do that, and I check in with my social media, then I do my Pilates and my yoga, and then I do my friends, family, and children, and spouses, and everything like that, and everything's kind of organized into a fixed status quo, but there's something not working. And it's profoundly, deeply not working. And so the doctor is kind of like, hello, Aquarius, the only way we can figure this out is by process of elimination. So we're going to have to deprive you, number one, of this. Are you a shopaholic? That has to stop. Are you an alcoholic? That has to stop. Are you a compassionaholic? That has to stop. Are you let's say, a workaholic? All these... Are you a foodaholic? Whatever it is, all of these things, we're going to have to work through it. And each time you work through, like when they do the deprivation of this, the deprivation of that, then they see how you react. In other words, if you like having, like I do, I like to have a glass of wine in the evening. If they took that away from me, am I going to have a complete breakdown? No, I'll just miss it. But for an alcoholic, if you take away their alcohol, you don't want to know that person. They become almost like demonically possessed. And so you have to work through all these things very slowly in layers, okay? That's kind of what I'm hinting here with the Five of Pentacles, okay? So let's have a look. What's the situation? Okay. New starts and new beginnings, okay? This is a great opportunity for knowing yourself more than ever before. I'm going to go back to the chart, okay? I think this is relating to the Sagittarius energy, the new starts and beginnings over here, because this is over here, this section in your chart, this is a breath of fresh air in the month. This is really fun, satisfying, exciting type of energy. It's almost like this is the energy that you need to get through the month, okay? It's not going to happen till the end of the month. The first part of the month I think is going to be pretty heavy for you and kind of awkward and uncomfortable. And throughout the whole month, at a very deep soul level, you're going to have to be dealing with Capricorn stuff here. And this isn't going to go away this month or this year or next year. So you might as well get used to it and instead enjoy this moment where you realize, oh, okay, I see what you're talking about, Tarot Illumination. I'll look at the reading, I'll get it, if I have to watch it again, I will. But the situation is that this is actually really good for you. Like, Tarot Illumination is actually trying to help you. We're not trying to deprive you. Your doctors, your healing regimen, the really painful, uncomfortable things that you're having to learn by going deep, deep into the self, is actually really, really good for you. Know thyself. Know who you really are. Know what turns you on. Know what turns you off. Know what is true and right and good for you. And know and understand what is not good for you. And you don't just like feel it. You know it and then you live by that as a creed, okay? As almost like a doctrine, okay? So this is actually really good for you. This is kind of uncomfortable. This is kind of uncomfortable, but ultimately, your welfare is what's really important here. To me, this looks so much to do with healing and shifting and changing and growing and doing it as though you're going into a long-term rehab situation where they're going to have to systematically deprive you of the things that you lean on as a crutch in order to get through life, but are literally crutches. The idea to be really strong and get back is to function again without the crutches and be cleaned up. I'm not going to say you're going to become a saint, but it's more like you're going to discover, like, well, maybe I don't have to do this or that or that or that anymore as forms of self-medication or self-therapy. I can do something actually much healthier. Let's have a look. What are the challenges here? Okay, my feeling is the challenges are that you're going to have serious doubts whether this is actually worth it or whether you can handle it. In other words, if you're being very gently encouraged in a very nutritious way by people who really, really love you and understand you, it's almost like, just, you know, they call them interventions, Aquarius. I'm not saying you're an aholic of any kind, but let's just say you need help. You need work, you need healing, and you're the only one who can do it. All healing is ultimately self-healing. So they're trying to help you. And it's almost like your friends are gathering around you and saying, Aquarius, dear Aquarius, we get you, we love you, we understand you. We already know that you want to align yourself to what's best for you. And we're just trying to help you. And here is the front door to a year's worth of rehab. And we'll take care of you. We're always going to be here. But we are not you. We have to heal ourselves. You have to heal yourself. And so you might feel like this is the energy of you being squeezed and pushed into the front door of a rehab center very reluctantly and wondering whether you have the courage or the ability or this makes any sense at all to do it. But deep down you know that you have to, and so you do it anyway. It's just like, it's almost like, oh my God, I really don't want to do this. There's so many other much more fun things to do in life than to go into rehab, to go into social, emotional, financial, domestic, relationship rehab of any kind, shape, or form. I just want to get out there and be abundant and have fun and be with my people and humanity. And so to me it looks like a deep reluctance to do what has to be done, yet knowing that this is what has to be done. Ouch. Okay, so how are we going to deal with this? Okay, with justice here, my feeling is that ultimately you know that you will prevail. You absolutely know that you will get done what has to be done, because in the end, it's almost like, I told you so. I knew this. I knew this was coming. I knew it at some point in my lifetime that this would happen. And so this is the moment. It's happening right now. It's starting right now. Okay? So there we go. Thank you very, very much. And everything will work out just fine. Everything will be, in other words, everything will work out perfectly. Okay? Things will be restored to harmony and balance. But this is not a switch. Okay? This Justice card is not a switch. You're not going to fix everything in your life that needs healing and fixing by flipping a switch. We do it by a long-term commitment to almost like those things I was showing you here. I'm not saying, dear Aquarius, go off and buy yourself, $4,000 worth of hypnosis workshop or $5,000 worth of empoweryourlife.com, okay? All that kind of stuff. All I'm suggesting is love thyself. Take full advantage of the wonderful, loving support you have from certain significant others. Be willing to go on this internal journey that only you can do, knowing that it's going to be disorienting, knowing that what really counts is the people who truly love you. It's going to take courage. It's going to be good for you. You know it, and everything's going to work out perfectly. It just takes time, dedication, and commitment, and deep self-love to do that. And you can do that. Okay, Aquarius, you can do that because you know you have to. In other words, if you don't, it's like you're condemning yourself to an endless feedback loop of zero evolution, and that's not cool. Aquarius, you're so far ahead of the rest of us a lot of the time. You know you have to do this, so you're just going to do it. Okay? There you go. So I'm just going to pull one more card for you, and that's going to be it. That's going to be Return to Spirit, okay? Return of Spirit. So this is going to get you into the groove, okay? Hello, Chantal, I see you. I don't know who else is here. I've kind of lost track. I've just been focusing on the reading. I just love knowing you guys are here. It makes me feel much happier. Doing the reports on my own is frankly just miserable. I mean, I could do it, but it's not the same. So all I'm going to do, I'm just going to shuffle this up, and this is going to be like a little one-card oracle for you, all right? This whole month, from the readings that we've done so far, they've been, to me personally, they've been very intriguing readings. I didn't realize things were going to get so deep and so kind of heavy, okay? Lumination is famous for sending people to sleep with his voice. There we go. Thank you very much. And that, of course, is a form of healing. Okay? Thank you, Chantal. Sleep well. Sleep well. Sleep well. This is for all the Aquarians out here. We're going to pull this card for you. Looks like this. I'm going to cut it kind of medium style this time. There we go. And then this is your card. Okay? Look at this. Take flight. Wow. This is called fractal art. She does this herself. It's done with computers and very powerful softwares to create these like spontaneous fractals. I don't want to give a long, discourse on fractals, but it's very beautiful. You can see a sort of a butterfly image here, but I think it's about the flight of the butterfly. Let's have a look. Let's see what her story is here. Okay, it goes like this. So, dear Aquarius, keep an open mind. It says here, take flight. Dear Aquarius, it is time to come out of seclusion. You no longer need to hide or try to protect yourself from the world around you. You are moving into a new stage of your life where stepping out is important for your emotional, mental, and spiritual growth. It's time to start making new friends and social connections. You may find yourself being drawn to join groups. That's classic Aquarius. Take classes or engage in social activities. Just as the butterfly is drawn to a flower's nectar, you will find that getting out into the world and being with others will be a source of soul food for you. Through these interactions with people and groups, you will start to feel more confident in yourself. You will see and feel yourself blossoming in a very natural and comfortable way. The energy of the butterfly is gentle, joyful, and purposeful. You will directly experience this energy and exude it as you move out into your social surroundings. I think this has a lot to do with the Sagittarius new moon, which is really good news for you, Aquarius. Not only is this an important part of developing your self-esteem and a sense of belonging, it is a vital piece of your discovery of your gifts and special talents. Your soul is ready to shine its light. It is only your human mind that feels it is not ready. That is fear. Be brave and let yourself out of the cocoon of protection that you have created. That's the 4th house thing there in Taurus. You cannot fight your destiny. That's the Scorpio new moon up in the 10th house. You can only fight yourself. It is time to take flight. You know how the universe works. Like it or not, if there is something we are meant to be doing, we will eventually find ourselves doing it, no matter how much we resist it. So, take a deep breath and take just one step forward to what brings you joy. The rest will take care of itself. Literally, one step at a time, okay? So there's a lot of emphasis here. Even in that last card, you can see the strong emphasis here on the 10th house and the 4th house, okay? The joy over here from the Sagittarius energy and the deep, deep soul healing that you cannot resist anymore over here. No more cocooning. We have to very gently peel off the layers like they do in a long-term rehab to get you sorted out properly, okay? You're going to be just fine. Where did I put your card? Oh, your card is in here. Sorry, I'm going to put that over there. That is your reading, Aquarius. There you go. Thank you so, so much. It's been a pleasure. I'm going to check out with you guys now. Greetings. Greetings, dear Aquarius. That was fun. I'm so glad you're here because it's actually sometimes really hard to deliver these readings. And for some reason, I feel more confident when I'm working with you guys here live. And I feel more courageous about saying some of the things that I might normally withhold when I'm recording on my own because I don't have so much confidence that way because it's frankly just a miserable experience. That's how it is for me here. So I feel that I've had a chance to offer a richer, fuller reading for you, and I just hope it makes sense. I hope it's not too dense or too over the top, and then it kind of makes you kind of go, whoa. I try to distill everything down to just a few core nuggets that you need to get you through the month. That's it. Okay? I don't like to go through huge layers of academic, like check this, check that, check. Just a few core nuggets, okay? So in a way, just take that last oracle card as kind of like that's your takeaway card. That's the one you take with you like a fortune cookie at the end of a Chinese dinner or something, okay? All right, I'm going to wrap it up now. Hello, Elsa, I see you. We just did a reading for Aquarius, by the way. It's donut time for you. Well, it's a time for a beverage for Tarot Lumination, okay? Take care, everybody. I'm going to wrap up the stage here and get ready for the next reading. I honestly doubt it at this point that I'm going to do another reading tonight. We'll see. If I do, it's going to be very late. And it's going to mess up my biological clock for the next few days. We'll see. Fritili. Hello. I see you, Fritili. Otherwise, tomorrow is Thursday. And we'll take it one step at a time. Okay? So bear with me. I think what I'm going to do is just something really simple. Okay?